This is Roxanne Grinage. I'm founder, higherlyrics.org. It is an internet practicing administrative services company. In the trenches, qualified contribution, administrative solutions for traditionally systemized administrative challenges. Administrative formulas for permanently successful U.S. economic recovery plans and budget implementation do exist. Two-way accountability, work ethic, synergy, and intent are measurable for impacting revenues and impacting quality of life. This is rationale for the U.S. Economy Stimulus Budget Implementation Administrative Solution Tool, the U.S. Citizens-Controlled Public Incident Database. We Americans must stop waiting for any state or local government or any presidential administration to recognize our special and unique set of quality of life impacting solutions. The onset of the internet technologies has thrust presidential executive staff and officers meant to be trusted servants into public relations campaign-driven celebrity status. Media as industry is cliquish and controls what the well-meaning presidential administration knows about the American people. Because media as an industry is cliquish, presidential administration, state and local decision makers are not accessible to the American people for learning what Americans need and whether Americans ever receive any good-willed intent of any presidential administration. Government decision makers, starting with the presidential administration and trickling down to state, city, and local jurisdictions, gauge the needs of the whole country on whatever media canned, favored personalities portray to the already overburdened decision maker who finds it easier to accept a piecemeal subjective outlook rather than perform responsible due diligence. No matter how well-intentioned any presidential administration is, U.S. government decision makers suffer the same market-entering challenges for which the U.S. citizens-controlled public incident database is the solution for. In the case of this modern-day American presidency, the Obama administration, the market for which the Obama administration is a disadvantaged creator and suffers a disadvantage for entering and fairly competing within is information technology. Having mastered public relations and wielding a media expertly, U.S. citizens should now require our presidential appointed executive officers to become qualified to know what Americans need, and Americans should require our government leaders to revert back to trusted servants and not celebrities, such that our government leaders are required to follow up to learn for certain whether or not Americans received what is intended for Americans by any so-called economy recovery plans or stimulus budget implementation. The U.S. Citizens Control Public Incident Database is the administrative solution tool that will force, through goodwill two-way accountability, work ethic, synergy, and intent, the mechanization of Americans' government decision makers, leaving their celebrity icon hubs to reconnect as servants for the will of the American people. It's as though our president is frantically trying to save the drowning American people by throwing one life preserver after the next over the wrong side of the ship. For crying out loud, the real flesh and blood American people are in the trenches and not a guest on anybody's talk show. This is Roxanne Grinage. I'm founder, higherlyrics.org. Much respect.